Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Around the World in 30 Days, the series that the brainchild of Kristen from Kristen Crafts here on YouTube, and a lot of us over in the Scrappy YouTube and Instagram inspiration group are playing along with. Some are doing every single day, some are doing just a few here and there, and it can be anything. It can be extensive travel, tourist in your own town, some album shares, and that is what I am going to do today, because many of you did answer my comment and say, yes, we would like to see where you're at in your album and what needs to be done, because as you know, I've selected some Prague and Barcelona photos to do this month as part of this series. So I thought today I would come on and we could look at where I'm at in the Prague album and what maybe still needs to be done. Now, I have been scrapping these albums, and there are many of them. I don't know, I think there are about, let me see if I can even see over on my shelf, there are probably about 10 or 15 albums already. I'm almost finally at the end of this trip, this full 1 year. So a little bit of the backstory if you're new to my channel, although I think most of you probably know this. From mid-2005 to mid-2006, I took a 1-year sabbatical, got my backpack out, my hiking boots out, and I hiked around Europe for a year. So there we go. Now I've taken some photos as I was going through things, getting ready for the series, of photos that I definitely know I need or want to include in the album. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I've already done one layout as part of the series this month. Oh, I guess I should go get that. Hang on. I've done the astronomical clock, so we'll have to see where that fits in. And I also have, because of course when I went on this trip I had I did not have at least a digital camera. I didn't even have a cell phone. I think I got my first cell phone in 2008, people. I was late to the game. So I had, a regular everyday camera, and I still have lots of photos here. I'm not sure many or any of these are actually going to be needed, but I have them here just so that we can see if we do need them. All right, so the album will begin here, and I'm hoping I'm getting everything in frame. I sort of tried to place everything so that just if I sort of fold it where the page protector is on either side, we'll see all of the pages. I've also been scrapbooking all of these albums for 15 years or so, so you're going to see some very old layouts as well as new layouts. This is sort of the intro. I was in Prague in March of 2006, and this is just a photo from the little apartment that we rented, because part of the story here is whenever you get to a train station or anything in the city, there are all sorts of people there waiting for you, wanting to, rent you their little hostel or their home or an apartment or whatever. And sometimes they work. In Portugal, I have to say, all of the places that I stayed were absolutely lovely, and they were all from that. I did not have to go to a tourist office or do any looking. People were waiting for you at the bus, and they were lovely. But in other places, oh my God, some of the experiences, and after, in particular, Barcelona, and I'll get back to that one, I had promised myself that was it. Never, I was going to go to the tourist office and to book pensiones or hotels or whatever. But this turned out amazing because even at the tourist office in Prague, when we got to the station, couldn't really find anything. So in the end, decided to trust this random person wanting to rent his apartment, because what they do in Prague, or at least what they did then often, is many of the students would rent out their apartments and then they would room together to try and make a little extra money. And so this turned out to be awesome. It was a lovely, lovely little apartment, full kitchen. It was like burners, but a fridge, burners. There was no oven per se, but there was definitely like a stovetop, fridge, big, lovely, full bathroom, big sort of living room. It was, I guess it would be here, you would probably call it a studio, although the little kitchen area was definitely a separate room. The bathroom was a separate room, and then there was one big room, which was sort of lounge, bedroom, and all of that put together. And at that time, it was 90 euros for an entire week. It was clean, it was well kept, so it was a win. And this was the view from the bedroom. So that's what this is. So it's sort of the intro, and that's what my journaling is all about. These are some very old supplies here. I'm not sure I even remember what everything is. There's going to be some Stampin' Up! In here, some basic gray, me using punches and doing a lot of my own embellishments. But already there, I was, popping up on foam. I do use a lot more dimension these days, so that was number one. Now this one is quite a recent layout. This was a May I Scrap Lift You, and this was me scrap lifting the lovely crystal. So this is a much more recent layout, and it's the entrance into Prague Castle. And now in theory I should have a few photos that are within the castle grounds, because of course anything we visited inside, there was no photos being taken. Oh look, there's even a dotty about Flair and some bramble fox on here, so that is definitely quite a recent. I think I did this one in May as part of May I Scrap Lift You. Some chipboard, little Chamel pieces here as well, some Nicole Jones 911 printables, and some stenciling on the back, as well as my beloved Bella Boulevard Besties paper. This one was, I think, Stash Dive Tuesday, and it is, again, explore the old royal palace within the castle grounds. Now, do I have anything else here that I want to know more into Forjack? And I don't know if there are other castle-type photos in here. I probably should have done this beforehand. Oh, these I'm going to keep out because they're from the Dvorak Museum. I'll talk to you about that in a bit. Lots of buildings. We'll see about that. Another lovely view. I don't know if I have enough of those. Probably do. Yes, now you see, this is also part. So I don't know whether I would want to do another page with some of this in there, because a lot of these just turn out to be the buildings and the views of things that I already have. But I'll keep this here because there you see now that's into the old street. So you see, if I look at that, I probably don't need this at all, unless I wanted to maybe focus on a bit of a close-up for, some of the windows. But, I don't think I need. I think we have everything we need there. City streets and scape. So this is just walking around some of the old town and the new town of Prague at that time were quite different. I'm sure it's changed a lot, as everywhere has, but lots of little sort of city walks, a beautiful city to walk in, actually. And I do know that in the old town, there are some photos that I definitely want to get in there, namely one that I forgot to do. Let's see, is here, this photo, which is called, what is that area called? The Golden Lane. And it's within, actually, the Prague Castle grounds. So it would have to get inserted here. And it's small, very small houses, very bright colors, and it's where many of the goldsmiths would live within the castle grounds in the 17th century. So I definitely need to get that inserted in here somewhere. There you go. So there we go, the old town. This is some Maggie Holmes, I think. Is this Maggie Holmes? Is this Wonder? And I just titled it Wandering. On the side here, a nice little doily, a floral. I did some journaling on the side here. Just wandering the streets of Prague is so enjoyable. From the narrow, almost alley-like cobblestone streets of the old town to the wide, modern, what do I say there? I can't even read. I can't even read my own writing. There you go. So where the street, I put this here where the streets have no name, because of course I couldn't really read, I couldn't really pronounce any of the street names, but you know, does it matter? Doesn't really matter. Getting into the square, so you see here, this is where the astronomical clock will need to get in somewhere in this area of the album. And this, you see, now this probably, the museum here, which is lovely, and this was, I think I was scrap lifting my lovely friend Rebecca. I'll get back to that on here. But now you see, I think these might need to be reversed, because this is sort of one of the big, wide, modern streets looking out from the museum. And this layout I did way back, I think, in maybe 2014. This is some gorgeous October. It's a collection, an October afternoon collection that I had bought the entire collection. I think that was the first time I had ever done that. And I had done that because I was going to the country for a month in the summer, when I used to go to Deb and Ron's when they would go off for a month, and I would stay there with the animals for a month. And I had brought an entire collection so that I could bring, you know, not my entire scrap room, and still get a lot done during that month. Some butterflies, some twine. Oh, look, I did do a little bit of twine even back then. Yay me. This is a layout that I've done recently, and as I say, I think it was scrap lifting my lovely friend Rebecca from Rebecca Lockhart Scraps. I think, is that what it was? I know either that or, no, I think it was it was a sketch. I think it was an exclusive sketch that Rebecca did for, is it the 30 Days of Sketches series, the best of? No, the best of or series 9? Yeah, maybe series 9. I'm not sure now, but we have that one. Now, then here you see we have the Opera House, and you see I had another photo of that, but I probably won't need it now because we have the lovely Opera House, and this I used some Cartabella, some of the lovely Cartabella. I've got a Bramble Fox, some Dotty About Flair, some gorgeous Nicole Jones 911, and Vicky Bouton pre-made foundations paper. So this is one that I did quite recently as well, and I believe, no, it's a lovely Lisa Sikorsky sketch from Scrap-A-Sketch, which I had turned on its side. Then another museum visit to the Ridolfinum, and a beautiful, perfect day. This is probably an older layout. It definitely is an older layout, but this is sort of the museum and architectural section of the album. And then you see we get into Dvorak, and that is somewhere where I spent quite a bit of time, a good part of a day, visiting that entire museum. So the sort of part of the building, but I have another one here that I may want to get in. I definitely have this photo from the inside where there are still concerts. It's quite small, but there are concerts that are held there still on a regular basis. And this photo is quite dark, so I'm not sure whether I will take this photo, take a photo of the photo, and then try and edit it, which I've done before. I've done that for some of my parents' wedding photos, if some of you may recall. So I might try and do that, or I might use the photo as it is and then go on Google, as I did for the astronomical clock, and get a better photo of this area where you can see some of the chairs and the way it is set up, and definitely the ceiling. Because I think even if I brighten this, might not see some of the beautiful, beautiful art that is on the ceiling. So these two need to get in there. And of course, then we have here a statue of Dvorak. No, this is not actually. This is not. This is another. Who is this? It started in Norway. Yeah, here I'm just talking about, rediscovering and following my love of classical music throughout the trip from very, very early on. It started in Norway with Grieg and then just kept on going. And this is Smetana. So this will definitely have to go at the end of Dvorak. But I did want to have that there. But for sure, my focus in Prague was on the wonderful and lovely music of Dvorak. Then some more city views that I have here and that I definitely want to get in. And then here I also have, before going off into some river views and then views of the castle from across the river and the bridge and that kind of thing, I have this photo that needs to get into the city somewhere, which is Rocky O'Reilly's pub. And obviously, it's an Irish pub. It's a large one in Prague. And they are all over. O'Reilly's pubs in Europe, they are all over. And part of the story, I guess, I want to tell with this is in many cities. I've seen them in Paris, in Madrid, in many cities. And part of the story I want to tell is really how O'Reilly is such a common name. Here, of course, in Canada, it's not as much. My name, Moira O'Reilly, is quite rare, quite unique, quite original. But quite frankly, in Dublin, it's like, I don't know, Mary Smith kind of thing. And that's part of the story that I want to tell. This is really not a good photo at all, but I just still want to get that in the book because I don't know if I've taken many photos of the O'Reilly pubs throughout my trip that I saw. So that needs to get into this area of the album. Starting now to see from across the river into the castle area. Then, of course, St. Charles Bridge. Prague is such a beautiful city with another part full of alleys and narrow streets and quite a cosmopolitan new town. So many lovely bridges and so many views. Vicky Boutin foundations paper here that's already pre-made foundations paper. And I think is this maybe color study. So I may have done this for a Scrapbook Your Joy guest design team. Is it color study? I think it might be. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then this one, so St. Charles Bridge, this one I love, and I think this might have been a sketch or it might have been a class I was taking. I'm not too sure. The photo is not amazing. You can't see me all that well. This, I think, is some Stampin' Up! Paper doily filling my top sides and corners, as I love, love, love to do. This is a page that I've done, I think, quite a while ago, or was it a stash diving one to use older product? I can't quite remember. Look at that. I got some washi tape on there, my friends. Yeah, washi tape and I have since divorced, as you know. Got some Nouveau drops on here, so not that old a page then. This, the night view, so I love this photo. Again, not a great photo, but I really did want to get it in the book, and I love this layout. This is one of my favorite layouts, and it was a sketch by Daisy Scraps in 30 Days of Sketches. It was an exclusive sketch for us in 30 Days of Sketches Series 9. I think it was actually was it even day 19? I think I might remember the day even. And I have since scrap lifted myself. I used here, this was one of my How to Kill a Kit with Styles using the My Mind's Eye Gingham Farm Gardens? Something. And some gorgeous Dottie About Flairalicious pieces here that I sort of call a little bit the mod contemporary. I really, really love those. My Dimension, lots of things popped up on foam here, and some stamping on my background. And you know that diagonal designs have my heart to begin with. This one is Tokansky Palace, again, filling up my lovely corners and sides here. These are papers, if I'm not mistaken, that I got from my lovely friend Colleen in a beautiful Christmas package. A little bit of my diagonal embellishing here. And 1/3, 2/3. A couple of random bits on here. This was definitely a Stash Dive Tuesday layout, I'm pretty sure. Some flares, some buttons. Yeah, went deep into my stash for this one. This, now, Crystal, am I scrap lifting you on this one? This, I did this quite a while ago. Was it a sketch, or was it a sketch Sunday that we did, and a sketch maybe chosen by Amber? I'm not quite sure. Amber or Crystal, tell me, but I know this was a very, very different layout for me. It took me a while to love the outcome of it, but I do. And this is fussy cutting. Fussy cutting from, is it maybe Minte or P13? It's fussy cutting some gorgeous paper. I do know that. Brick stenciling on the background, a little bit of a chipboard piece here, and I obviously put a sticker on top of whatever was there, and some gorgeous sequins, of course, from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And coming into the church, and then here we go. Now this, it's not a double page per se. I guess they are more companion pages. So again, St. Vitus within Prague, and then sort of the one photo here that highlights it, and then close-ups of some of the absolute gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous architecture. This is Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Weathered Gardens. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful collection. This was a sketch for sure. I'm pretty sure now, I can't remember if these are both sketches, and I went a little bit rogue on this one. But this is definitely a sketch, and it may, Lisa, is it a scrap a sketch? I think it might be. A little bit of tearing here, with some Dottie About Flairalicious pieces here as well. Chipboard, some lovely Dimension, my Bella Boulevard besties. Love this one. And then at the very end here, the Prague Parliament. So, that I definitely need to get in here, of course, is my O'Reilly's Pub. This is another church that I have not documented, which is Church of Mother of God. It's a Gothic, and it's a very dominant feature in the old town. So I think I definitely want to get that. Golden Lane, as I mentioned. Inside Dvorak's museum, another photo of the outside. And then I think I might do a collage page with, I might do where is Dvorak now? Let me get back to where he was. Oh, well. I think I might do a collage with a little bit of this, you know, his eyeglasses and obviously his desk with some sheet music and an instrument. So I think I might, like, you know, this, I could crop some of this down, obviously. And even, I could even take a photo of them and maybe just go in and do a collage. But I think I would like to do a page with these to complete that area. And then, you know, then I think that will do it. I don't really know what this is. I might go on to Google Lens. I've spoken to you about that before and see if there's something here that I'm missing. I'm not finding anything that I took notes on about what this might be. So I'm not sure, you know, this is just, you know, tramway. Now, that was sort of, if I couldn't walk and I wasn't walking around, the tramway was my mode of transportation of choice within. So I don't know if I might do a layout with it. It's not a very good photo, but maybe it should be a story that is told. Traveling companion. I don't see these are, some of these are just, I don't think I need extra photos. Some of these are just views of things that we've already seen. This is a terrible photo. I don't need that. So I think that might do it. Again, this is something I'm not quite sure why I took this photo. So I may do a Google Lens on that because I've told you, sorry, I interrupted myself, but I've told you about Google Lens before. You sort of take a photo of your photo or find a photo on Google and you go into your Google Photos and select Lens and it will match your photo. So there are a couple of times where I wasn't sure of photos that I had taken and I've used it to find out that they were awesome and amazing photos, and other times, you know, to find out that it was really nothing and I couldn't find anything. But I might go in and see some of these, or these may just be photos of architecture, and I may or may not do one more page with just all of these because I can tell that this is the side of this building. So these go together. Don't need any of that. See, I've done some of these photos again as well. So there you go, my friends. So, my God, I've been nattering on for quite a while. Thank you so much for staying here and for revisiting Prague with me. And I think we definitely have another 4 or 5 layouts to get into this album, my friends. So thank you so much. I will get Barcelona up before the end of the month for sure. We'll get a couple more layouts done over there and complete those 2 albums. So if I can get Prague and Barcelona done and dusted and in the books this month, I will be very, very happy. So let me know down below if you have any special requests, any countries that you would like to see me focus on within that European trip, or anything else, or just tell me what you're up to lately, and are you playing along with Around the World in 30 Days Hop? Everybody who is playing along, of course, is linked down below. See you soon, my friends. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.